Check, check. Let's see. What's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? My day was pretty good. I took one good trade on the Qs and two stop outs on SPY, and starting into my profits a little bit. So I called it a day and just kind of help people on trade floor a little bit. But overall, it was a good day. Hopefully, you guys have a couple contracts for me at the end that we can talk about. But I'm gonna go over a few, and then overall, this lecture, you know, there isn't a ton to talk about, but once I show you the examples, it'll kind of click and make sense for you all. So hopefully you guys have some examples for me so we can kind of learn together a little bit here. But I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. I am not in Shopify yet. I am still watching. Bounced off bounced off 80, came back. I'm hoping it opens around here a little bit, but we can go over that a little bit later. I accidentally took a SPY call instead of a put. Are you on Robinhood? Because that has happened to me before. It like leaves up the chain that you played last or something, and man, that screwed me before. That's crazy. I have done that. All right, just a couple more minutes, guys. If they're not going to be here, they probably won't show up at all. We got our usual 20 to 30 people, so yeah. Guess I should ask, you guys in green, big green, little green, red, deep red on a Monday? Are we sitting good or we got to fight back? How are we looking? Little green, nice. How come I trade better when on paper trade? Um, well, obviously there's not real money on the line, but wise investor, if your position size is the same as your real port and you treat it as real and you don't cheat, that's the key. Don't cheat. So if you're on a paper trade and it goes against you, you have to stop out where you'd really stop out with real money. You can't just let it go to zero and reset your port the next day. So um, I don't lie to anybody. I paper trade every single week. I paper traded today after 2 losses. I do it all the time to get my reps in. So, but that's the key is you cannot reset your port and cheat. All right, guys. Have this info ready later if you want to discuss some stuff, but I think we are going to get started today. For you guys who don't know me or might be new, my name is StartedWith1k. I'm recently got bumped up as support member, and this year or all of 2024 and forward, I'm gonna kind of make it my mission to really get stop loss, taking profit, building up portfolios. I'm kind of going to make that my own mission. They didn't ask me to do anything, but I kind of want to do it on my own just to kind of help the new members, help people that are totally new to option trading. People maybe been in it for a while and still having trouble. The whole, 2 step forward, 1 step back kind of thing. That's what I want to try to avoid. And so I'm going to try and help you guys. So one thing that's really big, selling and taking profit based on what the chart tells you. So meaning based off support and resistance, where are you buying at, where are you selling at? And when you do that, where on the chart does it tell you, this is invalid? If I'm in calls today, or today I was in puts on SPY, it's like, where on the chart does it tell me that I am wrong and why? Not based on, oh, I'm 20% down or I'm down $15 on a $4 contract, like where on the chart, and why that matters. And so the biggest thing is that we all see a couple things. It's FOMO, you sell too early and yada yada, or it stopped me out only to make the move I wanted. And so this is a big one where people just say, I get it, but I get it if you're at work and you're like, what, I can't watch the markets. I'm willing to risk a 20% stop. I'm not going to argue with that. That's okay because you're saving your portfolio. If you enter Tesla and you got a work meeting, you have no stop loss, like that is super, super risky. So as long as you guys have proper stop loss, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to try and help you guys based on the charts. And then we'll ask some questions at the end and some charting, or go over some of your guys' entries as well. So just a few examples to go through. Like I said, they might be a little bit repetitive, so I'm only going to do 2 or 3, so I don't bore you guys. But this is today. This wasn't my trade, but this is just an example of what I want to show, um, why having a plan matters and why a stop loss, before you even think about profits, why stop loss is more important. Tesla, we've been trying to catch swings on it. We've been trying to catch this, that, and that. Yes, it's under key levels. It's around key levels, 200 moving average, whatever you want to say. But in reality, we keep catching a knife, or at least I do. So this was today. This is just an example. If you saw this push up today, so this is the stock chart. This is the options chart of a 220 call from this week or from today. So example, we push up, we come back down, and like, you know what? I want to buy right here at VWAP. This blue line is VWAP right here. You have this little pre-market zone. If you say, I want to buy here, and when we break under, that is when I'm wrong. So if you enter here at 480, you need to have a stop loss on pretty damn quick, because if you catch this kill candle here, you're down 70, 80 bucks per contract on this candle. Obviously, if I enter, like I said, I didn't enter this, but if I enter something like here, I would expect a few bounces, but this was a hard sell. So this is an example of, we all do it. We enter a trade and we just think profit, profit, profit. But it's like, if you enter here at 4.8, $480, like, where's your stop and is it realistic? And can you stomach this? Like, can you live through that drop if we don't bounce? Or you guys need to figure out where's a stop loss based on the chart. So if you look at the chart here, you can see the 480. And so you need to make a stop loss according to this. Again, not percent down or stuff like that, but this is an example today of how Tesla can really, really hurt people. And I'm sure this might have caught some people today that we kind of had that morning bounce, we sold down, and we just trickled down most of the day. Wise investor, yeah, I got stopped out right before that reverse on Tesla. Yep. I get stopped out for the only move to go my way. Yeah, we'll work on that today. We'll see if we can get that going. Do I wait for the 5-minute candle? That's hard. People say wait, but if you enter here and you see this doji looking thing and we sell, I mean, obviously Tesla does not move this slow. We all know that, but it's hard because if you say, I want to wait for a candle close, like, that's a big chunk. Like I said, 70 or 80 bucks right then and there. Like, to me, that's, yeah, it's right at a level, but it's like, that is a fully engulfing candle that just took out all that, like took out this whole section right here. So that's where it's tough. And like I said, this is just an example to show, everyone's trying to catch Tesla, like, this can burn you and this can hurt you pretty bad. Is it good to hold the 220 call? That's a hard question to answer. Swinging, I'm definitely not swinging. Tesla has earnings, I think, Wednesday after close. I think tomorrow's Netflix. And so, everyone just wants to catch that big move for the gains tab. But honestly, I'm hands off on Tesla this week just to see what they say on the report. So is there a way to set a stop loss based on the stock price? On Webull, there is not. So I'm going to go over that a little bit, how we can estimate it. But on Thinkorswim, which I'm obviously not using them on Webull, but talk to River or some of the other support members, and they can help you. When you drag your stop loss, this is the options chart. So obviously if Tesla goes down, your call goes down. On Thinkorswim, or whatever they call it now, you can move it and it'll show up on your chart. So if you're like, you know what, I enter here at 480, I'm okay if we come down to here, and I'm going to have, we'll just call it 410 for simplicity. I'm going to have a stop loss at 400, and you can drag that down to 400 and it'll show up a little line on your chart to help you out. But yeah, there's a new price ladder on Webull. I need to check that out. There's another member in here that we talked about it like a month ago. I need to check that out and see if that is updated. Because if it is, that's a big game changer for me and for a lot of people on Webull. But I have not yet. I wonder if it's on the newest update. But I will check into that. Send me a DM either now or when we're done, and we can talk about that. DAL, Delta Airlines. It's a cheapy name. I love to play this. Ugly sell. I think this was from earnings. This is a 1 hour time frame here, so each candle 1 hour. So ugly chart, from the sell, but we come into this green zone here, and this green zone is what I want you guys to look at when I show you the next zoomed in chart to kind of show you some cheapy plays and how to use your entries basically with this. All right, here's that green zone that I talked about. We are now in the 5-minute chart. So we come here, we see the open, we push, we come down. If I did not take this, but it's just an example of show you guys how to have entries and stop losses. So we come down to this zone here, support from the previous day, multi-day trend line right here, this blue trend line. So this is the options chart of a 37.5 call next week, which is now this week, but this is a screenshot. I think from Thursday or Friday, I took this just to get ready for this class. And so you can see when the price moves up here, the price moves up here. When it comes down here, you have this little, someone was at my front door. You have this little zone here. That is this zone down here. So you can enter safely down this pocket here, knowing if we break under, these are your contract prices to look for over here. So let me get some drawings on here. So like I said, this low zone here is this pocket right here. So if we enter roughly at, we'll call it 63 cents or $63 is roughly this zone right here. So if you enter at 63 and we break under, you can set a pretty modest stop loss, like 54, 53, 52. You can set it, and that's down here. And so you are playing this whole upside. I mean, no one knew it's going to come up to here or make this big ass move, break out this little pennant here, but this is just the point that you can enter here and you can have a stop loss on, you're basically risking $10 here, $10 for this move here. And so you enter here at 61, you can take it to play up to here to this zone here, and that's a 61, 62, $63 entry all the way up to, mid to upper 90s in here. And so this is just an example of a cheap contract. We're talking, $62 and expires in 10 days. So at the time of this, you had half the week last week and you have all this week till expiration, obviously, if you swung it, but you get a move like this, like 62 to 124, like that is massive. And so my point is, use the options chart when you enter to pull it up side by side. So on my Webull setup, I can show you guys later, is when you enter here, you can see the price was at these lows here, roughly is $61. That was the low right here. And so you can see what your risk is and keep it small. And that's why, me and other people are always saying, low risk, high reward, stuff like that. And so these are the type of trades you guys want. If you got a weekly, so if you entered this last Wednesday, same thing, 2 days till expiration, a little more risky. Same thing, you entered on these lows here on Delta Airlines, $19 entry up to 87. Obviously, no one knew we were going to make this move. I probably wouldn't have held it. I probably would have only been enter here. I probably would have took it to this zone here. But just an example to show you how these big names move. Again, I talk about it every day, all week, about, Tesla's fun, Nvidia's fun until it's not, until you get smoked on it. Find these movers like this, find these big ass zones down here, find big levels, tag me or tag someone else, say, hey, do you see something here? What do you see? Or what do you think about this? And I'll be happy to reply to people and stuff like that. Disney, another trade idea. Nvidia, yeah, scary. Nvidia candles, 5-minute candles that are scary. 0 DTs. Whew. You better have the guts and the blood pressure for that. Disney trade idea. Let's focus right here, coming out of this green zone and this upper zone here. I think this was last Thursday or Friday, provided 2 great trading opportunities. So let's focus on these zones here when I zoom in here. All right, less time, more risk. Again, this was Wednesday, it looks like. So you got 2 days till expiration. So remember this, the screen zone down here, now we're zoomed in. We chop a little bit in the morning, we come down, we test. You get calls down here. Yes, we're selling down, but we're at a huge support zone. Look at this reaction when we're above it and we hold, we make big moves up. Hold, big moves up. Sell down, we sell hard. Sell down, we sell hard. Up, big moves up. These are the pockets you guys need to look for. These are the type of pockets you need to look for. All right, we chop a little bit here. Yeah, I might have a little bit of ugly selling, but you take calls down here. Say you bought the bottom. We don't all buy the bottom. We all wish we could. We're talking a $43 entry, and it still has 2 days till expiration, guys. Stuff like this, you enter at 43. We break down below here. I don't really show on the chart. You're risking 10, 15 bucks on a $43 contract. These are the type of trades you guys want to look for on larger time frames. So again, start your day. Start each morning. Market for me opens at 6:30. I'm on the West Coast. 5:45, 6 a.m., whatever it is. I go the 1 hour, I go the 30-minute, and I go through all my charts in my watch list. And I either take notes on a sticky note, or I set alerts like this. You can see this alert, it didn't trigger here when I took this, but look for stuff pre-market open. Don't just dive in looking at the 5-minute chart and go, man, I'm gonna get puts right here. It's like you're getting puts at the bottom of a huge ass support. So zoom out, but yeah, just an example of this contract. You could have entered here and take up to this first push, which this peak right here is this peak. So that's like a 0.43 to 0.883. It's a big trade right there. Maybe you missed this. You said, you know what, I'm going to take a VWAP. When it comes down into here, you can set a limit order down to here. So you can look, when this comes down, you can have this pulled up in real time and see the price decaying, decreasing. You can put a limit order for around here, 0.67, 0.65, whatever you want to call it. And if you can't watch the markets right away, it's like put a limit order, add or near VWAP, and take that. And you take this right up and you take it with confidence. Again, we break through this red zone here. Look at this big area here. Big explosive moves. When we break big areas where we break down, the moves happen quick. You guys need to be ready for that.
I am below weather.
What's up?
Next to you.
All right, Magoo, had to meet you for a minute. I didn't know if you're asking a question or just talking. Yeah, send a message on the Zoom chat if you want to ask a question. Sorry. So say you didn't want a two days till expiration. Say you wanted a weekly, which was last Wednesday, and to trade into this week. Same concept, guys. You can let this ride a little bit more. You can come in, maybe you didn't miss this big move, but you want this retracement. I can tell you if we're coming up to, you missed this move here, you missed this, but we're coming back into here, I would definitely be taking calls here. You don't chase puts after this move coming into support right here. We have this support here. We have VWAP. We got the 50 MA on the red line here. You do not take puts here. You're buying. You need to buy calls into support. Buy calls into support. Sell calls into resistance. Sell calls into this zone here. Does that make sense, everybody? So if you buy into this zone here, you're buying right in here. So we're saying $1.12 to $1.20 range. So we break this area again, $10 to $15 risk for potentially, we already seen the highs of the day. We hold this here and we break, you have to be looking and thinking that, hey, we might double top this, we might be testing and moving up in this zone here. Okay, so you buy in this area, you have a reasonable stop loss somewhere down here. Again, based on this zone, say, hey, if I'm in at 110, I'm okay risking. I mean, we're talking $5 to $15 here. This is nothing, guys. And you look and you say, okay, now I'm in here. I got the bottom. Now where do I sell? You can start looking at your contract price of, we peaked at 1.73 on that day. And so as we're pushing up, trim on the way up. Like this is a big zone too. You trim into here. Say you had 4 or 5 and you're down to 1, let that ride. Set an order for up here. Is that making sense to everybody? I know it's kind of repetitive, but I really want to hammer this on why it's important to use or try and use an options chart, not percent. Like you don't want to enter here and just go, oh, I'm going to risk 10%. Well, what if they whip this down right here? That's 10%, and then they make the move on you guys. Can you change your stop loss? Yes, as long as it doesn't fill, you can keep moving your stop loss. So I don't know if Webull has a trailing stop yet. So that's a very good question, Valerie. Thanks for asking. What you would do here, what I would do if I entered this trade here. So let's go back here. Say I entered, we'll call it 112. So $1.12, $112. We entered here. I know this level here. Let me turn drawings back on. I know this zone right here was that red zone here. So we got to think, okay, this was a previous rejection. We might reject here. So if I buy, I'm selling into here. And you always hear me say on trade floor, break and retest. So break and retest. This broke and never retested. So if we break here, I'm going to turn on the options chart and I'm going to look at this candle here, which it's kind of hard to tell. I don't have my time frames. It's probably this zone right here. If I had to guess, it might be this one. I'm not sure. But you look at the options chart. When we are at a level, you pull up your options chart and say, what is it? So let's say it's $1. You bought it. You bought here, 84. Now it's $1. So now when we push up here, we push here. That's where I turn my stop loss on at $1 because that's where the price was right here. So we push, my stop loss now is at $1, so I cannot lose. If I'm in at 84, my stop loss is $1. We push, we push, we push, we push here. I'm gonna continue to move my stop loss up. You can go in and it's called like a modify order. You click on your stop loss, you say modify order. It was at $1, now it's at $1.10, $1.15, and you keep moving this up on your runners and you keep moving it up and say, this is, it doesn't show on the chart here. Let me see if I got a different one. Nah, kind of the same thing. So if we push up here and we pull back down, let it stop you out based on the move. Okay, so if you keep moving your stop loss out and it stops you out, that's fine. If you bought the bottom, that's life. No one is going to catch every single move on this. What about the fees? Every brokerage has fees. Even Webull, even Robinhood, and they tell you it's no fees, but there is fees. $13. What platform are you on, man? $13. Are you in like Canada or something? What the hell? That's crazy. $13 on a $10. That's crazy. All right, one more trade. This is a trade I took last week. 65 cents. Yeah, I mean, Webull's less. Webull says no fees, but there's fees for sure. Yeah, Thinkorswim's fees are a lot higher, but their fills, no one's better, and their charts, the charting is, nothing's better than that. One more quick trade before I go over some examples from you guys. I want to get you guys going here. So I took a Google 0 DTE. Let me jump ahead real quick. I took this play. I messaged the member, and I also mentioned on Trade Floor, I said I'm liking Google calls here. So I liked this green zone here. This was a 0 DTE. This is on Friday. I said I'm going to get calls around here, and I want to take it up to this zone. I like this zone here. So how did I find this zone? Where did I find it? Before, like I said, before I enter any trade, I have to know where the hell I'm at. So you see these little tan lines here. That's before I do the red zone. These tan lines, I had to go way back to November 2021. So I charted it out before I even entered. I charted it out. I said, this is a little pocket here that I knew that we'd probably gravitate towards if we broke. And I had this morning action here. I said, I seen that we rejected here, obviously. So I said, I'm getting Google calls. I got the 147.5. I got it at 18. So $18 a contract. I got it somewhere here on this blue candle, I believe, which is somewhere around here. I got this. And I had a stop loss. I said, if we break into this green zone here, I said, this is my stop out. So I enter here at 18. My stop is this zone right here. I had a stop out, I think was 12 or 13. So I was willing to risk $5 per contract. And I messaged the member, I said, I'm gonna take my first sell at 147. I can't remember what, somewhere around here on this wick right here. These are 0 DTs. I'm buying down here. I'm selling into this most recent rejection. I'm not holding for 200% or 300%. I'm selling based on the chart where it tells me. So I bought a bunch, not a bunch, but a few. And I sold at 27, which is this zone here. I think 27. So yeah, it's probably into this candle here. And then you can see I held two runners. This was a limit order. And I held two runners, and I did a market sell out. I said, okay, I'm holding two runners here. I said, it looks good. I think it topped out 0.34. I messaged that member. I said, we break into here, I will be fully out. And that's what we did. I broke in. Yeah, I left a little meat on the bones. It went up to 4.41 or whatever it was, but I stuck to my plan. And this is, again, selling and taking profit based on the chart, not the percent, not the dollar amount, based on that. So that was a pretty fun trade. I didn't get the rebound, but you can see this was the trade. Could have played that retracement and bought calls again at the end of the day, and it paid again. I did not take it, but that's there. Does anybody have any questions on this? Does anybody want to go over some of their plays? I hope so, because we got 30 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to be charting. But winners or losers, and some trained psychology. Let me wait for anybody to speak up. Let me know in the chat. Wise Investor, you played Apple. Do you want to go over it? You can unmute yourself if you want to go over it, and I'll pull up the chart. Let me know. I think people have the ability to unmute if you want to, but oh, you're good. Oh, don't be shy. Anybody want to go over? All right, we'll pull up the chart regardless. All right. All right. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Got some loud people in the house. Had to shut them up. Apple, 15-minute chart. All right, Wise Investor, where did you enter? What calls were you in? If you want to go over it. It's a 5-minute chart. I'm on the West Coast. Let's see if we can get something for you. Anything? Nobody has charts they want to talk about. No one has plays. It's all right, guys. I took 2 losses today. Losses do happen. How would I have played this chart? That's a good question. All right. How would I have played it? Well, I would have started probably on the 30-minute. So it's probably going to get ugly here with all my levels. But I would go to the 30. I would say, hey, we are turning up last week. We broke above last week. So I got to go back to 194. Let's just turn this purple so we don't get lost where the hell we're at on my messy charts. So we open, pre-market, I would say, hey, we're opening overall last week's high. Over last week's high. We're opening here. Let's just say it's market open. I'm going to zoom out to the 30-minute, the 1 hour. I always talk about that. I love that. So we're looking at that purple line here. I'm going to go back and say, all right, this was kind of our pivot. When we're above this, we're trend up. We come into it, bounces, come down, we come down hard, come down, we come down hard, down hard, push, reject, big rejection. This was kind of the pivot. So to me, to quote Dirty River, 194 is the line in the sand. I for sure 100%, if I got calls at the open, which I do not trade the open, I 100% would be trimming into 194. And I think I even mentioned that on trade floor. So 194 is a big level. If you caught this, I would for sure be selling here and trailing stop. Again, you're above the 21, you're above the 9, you're above VWAP. Say you got 3 or 4 calls, I would sell 3 and hold 1. And again, trailing stop. So let's pull that up. So we're at 192. What would be the nearest strike? A 192.5. Let's see what those did. Damn, those moved big. All right. Let's say you got at the open somewhere around here, 180. You got at the open, you sniped it. So again, see this cluster right here, guys? This is the 5 minute. See this cluster? That is the same right here. So this cluster right here is this on the options chart. So again, we push up and we hold this zone. I look on the option chart and say, okay, where is 194 on the chart? That is my stop loss. Again, we're in at 180 hypothetically. So it looks like your stop would be about round number, we'll call it 260. So even if this triggers, you are still making $80 a contract. So we push, we break up. When I see this candle here and we hold here and we push, that's when you move your stop up. When we break a level and we hold another level and we push up, that's where you trail your stop, either manually or keep moving it. So my previous stop was 260. We see this zone here. That is this zone here, which is roughly $300 now. So you're in at 180, you're at 300. That's when you can trickle your stop up just a little bit, maybe 290. We push again. This peak right here, that's this peak. You better believe that if we push up to here, whatever this pocket here, 194.80, which is kind of this top zone, $335, that is my new stop. We get a kill candle, I don't care. I'm in way down here and I stop out here, that is fine. I can take that and stop out. Like, that is a good trade. What you don't want to do is enter here, ride it up, not trim. You get this and go, oh shit. Well, I was up a lot and I should have sold and now I didn't, but I'm just going to hold. I think it'll come back. And you ride this all the way down. Like, that is bad trading. You do not do that. Hopefully that answers your question. Again, obviously it's hypothetical. We get a look at the chart after the fact, but again, the key point I'm trying to make is when we break into a big level, look at either, if you're on Robinhood and you can't do this, look at the options chart. We were at 194 today. Look at the value of your contract and say, okay, I'm at 268. If we break under, or if we break over, my stop loss is 268. That's the least you can do on Robinhood if you cannot do a trailing stop. Kelly, give a quick explanation of your losses, if you don't mind, why you took the trade, where you stopped. Yeah, let me do that really quick. Drink of water. I'm gonna have to estimate the contract because I don't want to log in when we're live on my account, obviously. Somewhere around here, I messaged, it was this. Okay, so I took an entry on puts somewhere around here. We're rejecting the 21. What did I do? Let me think here for a second, guys. I know what I did. I entered somewhere around here, thought we'd reject VWAP. First time, not first time, but back coming up to it. So I entered here, I was in the 483s. We came down a little bit. And I was telling Ray, I think somewhere around here, I said opening range retest, which was down here. I think I'm on the right one. I may just have to pull up the contracts real quick. but this was the opening range low at the time. No, I was right here. So I entered here at VWAP. I seen a bunch of red here and instantly got stopped out. And I think River was in calls or had runners. And he said something to the effect on trade floor is, let's see if we can get another 44 retest. And we pushed it. We came down, and then he says, there's your opening range, LOL. Of course, this stopped me out because this was my profit zone down here. Well, would have been a runner, but so when you enter, I said to myself, you know, this pocket here. So I entered at VWAP, and I had seen a little bit of green, and I stopped out here. I said, let me adjust it just a little bit. If we break over these wicks, that is as much as I'm willing to risk, basically. So we broke over, obviously, you know, the question is, do you wait for the candle to close? This is an example of if you have a mental stop, it would have paid. But if this would have rocketed up, that would have been a hard loss, let me tell you. So this was a hard stop. I entered here. I can't remember the contract price. I think it was 41 bucks. And I said somewhere around 31 or 32 was the most I was going to risk. And so we pushed up and it stopped me out. Obviously, it paid. Had some FOMO, had some revenge trading. And then I did the same thing somewhere else. It might have been around, I don't know, but it happened twice to me. And so when I took 2 losses, even though we're trending down, you know, I just, 2 losses ate into my profits of a QQQ put win. You know, I said, the heck with it. I don't want to eat into my profits anymore because I had Q puts here. I trimmed and took them down to here, I think with another member, Savvy, I think his name is. But took it, that paid nice. And so when I had 2 stop outs on SPY that were eating into my profits for the day, it's like, you know, the worst thing to do is to be up nice green and the day ends and you go, shit, I'm red or I'm break even. How did that happen? So that's what you don't want to do. Hopefully Kelly answers your question. Satish, this is a direct message. Hopefully it's okay to share. You were in Docu.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And you're willing to talk about, is that all right? I don't play this anymore, but looks like I got some levels from something, somewhere, sometime. All right, you took 1 trade, you got a 67 call. February 2nd, just trying to read your notes here. 67. All right, this is our options chart. Oh, liquidity. What's going on here? Not a ton of volume. Wonder why it's like that. Is that right? Docu 67 February. Come down here. Pop. Does that look right? Does that let's see. You're at 114. All right, this will be a little tricky, but we will try and go this together. Just that might be a liquidity thing, why the chart looks like that. You entered at 114. All right, what time of day did you enter? Are you on West Coast, like market hours, or
Not East Coast.
what's that?
East Coast.
East Coast. All right. So what
Yeah.
time of day for you did you enter? Or you can tell me what candle here.
Like around 10 o'clock, I believe.
So it'd be 7 for me. So somewhere around here on the chart, the stock chart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you entered here. You probably saw a little bit of green, and then did you have a plan in place, or what was, kind of walk me through what you thought you did or could have done better? What we pushed here, we're kind of holding some support. Let me see. Again, I'm just going to turn this color so we can follow along, see where we're at on the chart. Let's look at like a longer time frame, see where we're at. Haven't played this in a while. Yeah, see, that's kind of I keep using the word pivot too. So we push over that purple and we push big. We come under, we pull hard down, come under, pull hard, reject, we push. Okay, so you know what? I think I like that trade that you tried to take. Let's see. All right, so you entered here and then just didn't have a proper stop loss, or what happened to that trade?
I did take the profit at the right time.
Okay.
And there's still like 67, I believe.
Hmm.
In 3-4 days it will go to 67, but still I should have cut there and then re-entered again, but I didn't even. I should have watched the chart.
Yeah, it's tough. And so, like I said, these examples that we're gonna go over, it's super easy for me to say, oh, you should have cut here, because I get to look at it afterwards. But so when you enter, when you're thinking about entering, always kind of look, especially what we did the previous day. So one thing that kind of stands out on a quick look, so we got this little pocket here, right? This is the end of the day, kind of consolidation, and we got this big push here. And so I'm always going to look left, and this right here stands out to me. And so this is a tough one because you got a little bit of time. It's February 2nd. Obviously, like I said, it's very easy for me to say, well, we bounced here, you should have held. But did you say you cut already, or are you still holding?
I'm still holding.
Still holding. Okay. Did you trim
Uh,
anything on this thing up here at all?
I just got only one,
Uh-huh. Dang it.
so I
All
put
right.
I put my stop loss as 20%. So like I'll
Okay.
cut it like when it goes to one.
All right. Well, I would have probably taken profit. Like I said, it's really hard to look at this chart. Let me see if there's something with, let's just click on the 63, see if we got better liquidity. And that's gotta be a liquidity thing. That looks like shit. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, and then ask price and the other price
Oh
was
yeah, I'm
huge
just not looking at
difference.
this. Yeah. See, okay. So that's it's a good example, a good learning curve. So, and did you fill at the ask price, or did you get a mid price? Like, did you just hit buy at the ask? Because I'm asking because there's a spread of like, shit, that's like $50. So this is a good learning example for anybody watching. Not saying you did this, but if you say you went into this trade and you just buy at the ask, say I'm going to pay $224 for this. When you enter here, if you try and sell, say you sell market order, you're going to instantly lose $22 roughly, because this is the mid price that, you know, maybe you get filled here, but if you market order, they might market fill you at the bid price. So like you can enter at 224 and that's an instant $50 loss. So you want to first look for options to have really good liquidity, and this does not, my friend. Open interest, you know, that updates once per day. There's 65 people in that contract. So like you're fighting with 65 other people right now. This one 21. So like this is a good learning curve of learning example of, you want to buy stuff with nice tight spreads. Like, this might be just a play to take for share, something like that, because this is a very hard contract to get out of, even February 2nd, because this is what you're in right now is a $30 spread. So that's pretty tough, my friend. I can help you after this lecture if you need some help getting out of it or whatever. Honestly, if we pushed and saw profit, my stop loss would have been at break even here. That way you don't hold through this, but we can talk about that after close if you want. We can go over some stuff.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. iPhone did the same thing, lost like $5, probably referring to SPY. All right, let's go over, what is this? TRGT. Gold? Is that the right thing? TRGT. Is that right? iPhone, chime in if I'm typing it wrong. What's up, Flips? How you doing, man? We're going over.
Good, boss. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. We're going over some options charts. Stop losses based on the chart. I made you co-host if you want to chime in, if you're just stopping by to say hi, but basically trying to use price levels on the chart, not percent wise, not 20%, not 10%. Like basically, if you're if you're at puts here, like I kind of talked about earlier, it's like, where does my stop out make it valid? Not based on percent, stuff like that. So yeah, we're just trying to go over some members plays here. Oh, iPhone is target. Okay, let's take a look here. I figure that's might would be what it was. Target. You entered a February 16th. February 16th. 140 put. Wait, am I lost? What the hell? Wait, I'm on the wrong thing. Oh, live zoom. You're in the 140 put. This is the options chart. So target goes up. Where's the opening for target? Okay. Let's see. Bearish divergence oscillator for a closed above 140 day with decrease in volume. Oh, just an analysis on it. Okay. Let's take a look here. I haven't played this in a while, like I said, but I got a line. So let's see where the hell we're at on this line. Again, man, my one line charts. Shit. Looks like I played this before somehow, some way. Yeah, 140 again. Push up, big moves up, down, hard sells. Over 140, big moves. Under 140, big moves. And so you're kind of in a tough spot. Let's see. Entry at 335. February 16th. Sorry, guys. Trying to. All right. So it looks like you peaked out at probably. So this line here on the options chart looks about to be this afternoon move here. So you entered at 335 price. So you've seen about 15 bucks profit. So iPhone, do you want to unmute and talk about it a little bit, or did you just want me to kind of look at and go over? Let me figure out where you entered exactly in here. So let's see where this bounced to. Let me take a look here. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Got some wicks here. Yep, that makes sense where we bounce. So that's the funny thing about the stock market. Not funny, but when you guys get good at charting, like I just slapped a line here randomly, kind of half randomly, and it lines up pretty good with some pivot levels here. And so
So I picked it up like at 11:30.
That's market hours time.
11:36 East Coast, yes, sir.
So that is 8:30 for me ish. So did you get on this kind of big engulfing candle here, or somewhere probably around here? I think that's right. My math is right.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I was about 15, 20 bucks profit before it kind of moved against me. But I was thinking going off of that big move and then kind of the volume and then going off the oscillator and with that chart at that 140, kind of looking for just to swing that going into possibly a dip into tomorrow and the following days.
You might get that. I mean, obviously we pushed up and this is not ideal close for that 140, but if we get any sort of, market selling pressure, and you got a little bit of time, I'm not going to say hold it is because you got time. It needs to be reasonable. So, are you in what you would say a full position or?
Oh no, it's a single contract, very small
contract. Okay.
And because in my stop loss, I put it 140.99, just because that's where I saw some consolidation on the chart. So yeah. I'm thinking if we get to that and then a break, it's obviously no go. So I was giving myself that move to maybe go into and then come back down.
So you got this little pocket here. I don't hate it. It sucks on the close, obviously, but this is what we'll call our rejection zone here. This is really what we want to see failing ideally. If it's me, I don't swing, so I can't speak too much for you, but this little pocket here and stick to it. Like I said, even though you got time, if you still think that there's weakness, what you can do if you have a little bit of experience too, is you can, if you want to hold because you have time, so that's just a suggestion. If we break and hold this, you can either cut and accept a loss, or you can trade some calls into this zone, telling yourself, okay, this is my max pain for these puts. Like, I don't like how this didn't break under here and it's holding. I'm not going to deny that, but you can hedge a call into that, and this can still pay like a decent move. And so, either have a plan to stop, a hard stop, like you said. I don't know how much pain you're gonna have to endure here. If you got in at 335, we close at 295. Looking at these little grid lines on the chart, I mean, that's probably another $30 to $40 loss you're gonna have to endure to hold here. So you need to decide, cut it for the loss that I have, and you can just set alerts and say, you know what, if we come back down here, I'm setting an alert and I'm gonna try and get back in. Or if we break hard below 140 again, you hear me say all the time, is break and retest. If we break down and retest, you can try another short here. So you have a few options. You can, accept the loss, or say we kind of trickle here like this. We break down, we kind of hold this pocket here and we push up. You can try puts here again, and then that's your easy stop out where, here Flips will say it, or someone, it's like, we break over here, I'm wrong, this is my stop out. So you can try and short this too, because we know how important this 140 is here. This is like over it, be a bull. Under it, and we're trending down, you can be a bear. So we have this zone here to play off of. So that 140 is big. Obviously didn't work out for you, but there's still, anything's possible. So there's times where we close and like, shit, we close at 140, and you might wake up and we're opening down here pre-market. So it might look a bit better for you. So just have a plan. Sounds like you have one at that 140. Don't hold stuff till zero. That's bad trading. I hate that. But just make sure you have a plan, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Anybody else have any questions, anything they want to go over? Anything at all? Everybody's been quiet today for some reason. Anything? Nothing. All right, so motivation. I'm gonna keep hammering this. Take a screenshot, take a picture, whatever you want to do. I just want to show you guys $1,000 port, $2,000 port. I mean, this is an example of 1,000, but 2,000. How quick? So there's 252 trading days a year. How quick small gains can add up to you guys. For the 36 people are still in here. 25 bucks a day on a $1,000 port, you got over $7,000 at the end of the year. 50 bucks a day, you have $13,500. So when you say I only made 25 bucks a day, or I only made 50 bucks a day, think long-term, guys. We are early into the year. Think how long and how much this can add up. If your goal is 50 bucks a day and you're up 127 bucks a day, you technically met your 3-day quota for 3 days. So quit over trading. So this is just an example, guys, of how 1% or 2% a day can really, really add up. You guys have large reports, like, where these numbers go. And so just, it's you against the market. If you got a small port, do not compare yourself to someone with a $5,000 port, $10,000 port, 20,000. People are playing NVIDIA, Tesla. If you can't handle that, do not play that. Focus on yourself. I've been dropping hints a lot on trade floor. CCL, DAL, Starbucks, River plays AT&T. There is lots of stuff to play, you guys. Someone said SPY. We'll take a look. There's lots of stuff to play. SPY's fun. QQQ's fun. They're all fun until they're not, until you blow your port. So play smart, you guys. Let's look at SPY real quick. Someone said SPY. Don't want to go to a larger time frame. My chart gets ugly. basically coming in tomorrow, we could probably maybe not draw that. Delete that. I would say this little pocket here, as of now, this is our bounce zone. This is what early in the week bulls defended. So as of now, you need to take calls around this zone. Look at this hard bounce here. If you're buying puts into this, you're getting smoked. So going in tomorrow, let's see what the open gives us. But we made all-time highs, so it's hard to estimate over this. But you basically just chart the most recent stuff. This is definitely 484. We'll call it 16, 17. Definitely a level I would have. Pushed up, rejected, pushed up, rejected. You know, there's going to be puts buying into this. Probably there's going to be calls buying into this. So know your zones, you guys, before you start trading tomorrow. Don't be chasing this move buying puts for a very, very, very small reward. You should be in puts and you scale out or you sell all into here. We come into yesterday or Friday's high of the day. You do not hold puts into that. You try and scalp calls. All right, Kelly, IWM. Ooh, that's a good one. Have not done that in a while. Let's see what we got. Where are we at? Larger time frame. Ooh, interesting, interesting. I like this. Didn't even know what this was going to provide, but so we broke into it. I guess I'll color it green and we'll call that support because we're technically in it. I'm not saying don't buy calls, but just be mindful of where we are here. We had this hard sell and this had our downtrend. We push up or reject, we push up or reject, we push up or reject, we push up, we reject, we push up, and now we hold. So I would look, try and get that bounce play 196.56. And again, I keep talking, know where your stop is, know where it makes sense. You enter calls here and we break under, know your stop. This is a fairly easy trade to know where your stop loss is. This is your zone, or I am wrong. You buy calls at support. This is your pocket here. Anywhere in here that you're comfortable, if we come down in here, this is where you're wrong on calls. We slice through this. You might want to be thinking puts. Doesn't mean blindly take puts, but know that we broke this big ass level here. Look to these other levels. Look to this recent zone. Look to this pocket here. You know, always look left, know where you're at. Don't just buy stuff blindly. Know where you're at. If we open here and you're in puts, you should be selling puts, selling them and securing profit into that, assuming a bounce. If it slices through, oh well. You know, you cannot hold for 1,000% every trade. AMD. This was an old level. I do some weird things. I usually chart a blue line because I got 4 charts set up. And so if I see a blue line, I know that's my final sell order. I think last week, what was I playing? I don't remember. 30-minute chart. Let me get this off real quick. Just so the colors don't screw you guys up. Just move this one just because it's easy. I immediately see what looks to be a trend. I would expect, no guarantees, I would expect us to open somewhere around here. And if you're a bull, again, we're on the 30-minute time frame here. We'll use this line as kind of our pivot point again. I would expect to open somewhere around here. And if you're bullish, you want to hold this 166.58-ish, and you want to hold this trend here. If not, you see what happens when we break below. It's hard breaks, break below, hard breaks. So yeah, bulls want to hold this because I don't want to call out a chart because River would be mad, but bulls want to hold this. That's all I'm going to say. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Bulls need to hold that tomorrow, this week, whatever you want to call it. If not, bears might have fun with that one. But yeah, they hold. Obviously, look for, again, old zones, take profit. You want to mark this wick here, 168.61, 169.25. XLF financials. Let's see what these are doing. Ooh, all right. 30-minute chart here. Got some old levels, probably working nice for us. All right, let's see where we're at. Always start your day, ask yourself, let's see where we're at. Man, this is looking, ooh, that's ugly down there. All right, let's just change the color because it looks like shit anyway. Purple line, this is our focus. We've seen what happens when we're over, and we've seen what happens when we're under. It starts a long trend. So we're coming to a big level here. If you're a bull, same kind of concept, break and retest, break and retest. I would look for calls around this area, 3803, we'll just call it 38, nice round number. And well, I guess look at 3803, look at that big wick right there. Buy orders are ready, like limit orders, that shows you buyers are stepping in there. You do not hold puts into 33. We break and break under with selling pressure, you can take puts, but nice setup, Rena. I think that could be a good one this week. Tech might want a breather, maybe financials run, or maybe energy runs, but I would look, and we got room too. If we hold that level on that larger time frame, we can push up here quite a bit. XLF is another cheapie. If you guys don't know, you should know or learn it. You can buy stuff 2 or 3 weeks out and still have a lot of time. You can possibly secure profit on stuff like this and hold a couple swings because you got time, because you can buy XLF February 9th. So you have 25 days till expiration. Tomorrow, say we bounce and sit here, you can buy an at the money 38 call for 67 bucks. At the money 38 call, 67 bucks, and you got 25 days time on that. It's not a 0 DTE that expires that day and you got to figure out if you're right or wrong. You can, if we come into here and we start trickling down here and holding, consolidate, you can get some 38 calls into here and you can ride this. You can ride this nice move here. And if we break under, again, like I keep saying, know your zone where you're wrong. We break under, you might have to start saying to yourself, okay, I'm wrong, but you got 25 days time. February 16th expiration, 67 bucks a contract. If that's still too expensive, you can go 2 weeks time. A little bit cheaper, but there is time. There's nice tickers out there. Is that everything from everybody? I'm in no hurry, but I don't want to miss anyone's questions. Yeah, so again, let's have a good week, you guys. Telling you, gains add up, small gains, big gains. Think of long-term goals. There's 252 train days in the year. We're down through almost a month of it. So, know how much this adds up. 1% a day on your port, 2% a day, 50 bucks, 150 bucks, whatever your goal is. Don't overtrade, just hit that goal, but be mindful of when you guys are up, how quick this adds up, how much this adds up. Position size on $1,000, 5%, $50. You know, you can get good trades, $100 contracts, $50 contracts. They're there. If you guys have a small report and you're struggling, send me a DM. I'm always willing to help those people who want the help. But if you're YOLO and you're reckless, I'm not going to help you, because we are traders, we're not gamblers. So everybody have a great Monday. Let's have a great week. Talk to y'all later.